Chapter 458, The Third Treasure of Primal Chaos City. There are a total of 9 pictures in the 9 Universe tablet. The first raindrop picture has 9 drops. Every 2 drops have different meanings behind them. As Luo Feng was immersed in the 108 words, he constantly compared his mental notes of the words to the tablet. These 108 words, there are 9 words that resound with the raindrop picture. These 9 words, just like the 9 drops, Luo Feng could feel that their meanings were seemingly identical. These 9 words had complex strokes, causing him to feel 9 blade forms. Profound. As Luo Feng studied the 9 words more, he felt it get more and more profound. Every blade form was a texture of the universe space itself. Every blade form seemed to explain a certain essence of the universe space itself. Even though its surface meaning resounded between the 9 words and the 9 drop picture, deducing and comprehending had a huge difference. Even people who didn't understand English, looking at 2 similar letters in different words, one could still discern them. However, to actually learn the entire language was tens of thousands of times harder than simply identifying letters. Luo Feng was like this currently. As Luo Feng stood on this balcony, immersed in these words, within that wrist space, Babata was bored and sighed, madness. What space origin laws are there within? Even the teacher before, when he became an undying, he didn't study the essence of universe space that deeply. This Lien Luo is indeed a number 1 of the genius battle from a trillion years ago. Geniuses indeed, they do things at another level. Comprehending the space law, it needn't be that complex. Just like how many people on Earth learn the computer, they learn how to use the program word, they only learn the usage methods. Simply using was enough. However, Lien Luo back then actually explained the essence of the universe space, even using 108 words to express it. Just like learning the word program, this Lien Luo didn't simply learn how to use it, but explain the entire program and how it worked, explaining how the program was written. Explaining the essence. Comprehending the universe origin law was the same. Those still in the midst of comprehending allowed the warriors to understand how to get better and to realize what was right. Hence, borrowing the feeling from these principles allowed them to unleash their attacks infused with the laws, hence the power increases drastically. However, those feelings, they were regarded as mysterious. If people questioned, they had no way to actually explain. They could only exclaim, "You can only experience, you can't pass on simply through words." Wrong. It was bullshit that it couldn't be passed by word. It wasn't that it couldn't be passed by word, only that many strong warriors and even undying hadn't fully comprehended clearly the essence. Naturally, they said it was unclear. Just like the Mosha clan, it blends with space itself. Maybe their battle strength was intrepid and a blur. However, in terms of comprehending the space laws themselves, the Mosha clan was similar to the Earth human body. True Yen Emperor is indeed a being close to the universe country leader, making Luo Feng come study the essence of space itself. It is indeed a very precise path. Babata was very clear, because he had witnessed the master of the Yun Mo planet Hu Yen Bo's entire training process. The initial period was fast. However, the further back he went, the harder it got. The further he went, the more he felt the space origin laws got more and more profound, harder to see it clearly. If from the beginning he had studied the essence of the universe space laws itself, slowly studying, the start may have been slower. However, towards the end, the improvement speed would be faster and faster. Babata exclaimed softly, "No wonder, even though the boss used 1 trillion years, he barely had the strength of an official." And this Lien Luo didn't even take 100,000 years, yet the moment he became undying he was immediately given the title official. Difference. When I unleash my movement, with a move I'm able to produce over 20 images. However, as to why I'm able to produce these images, I don't fully understand. Luo Feng studied for a while, beginning to feel his mental state grow weary as he immersed himself in the study. He couldn't help but exclaim, "At least now I understand a little." Only a little. However, just understanding that little bit made him shocked. "Babata, how long have I been studying?" Luo Feng asked. "A little more than 18 days, Babata replied. "Over half a month, and I only understood a little bit of the first form?" Luo Feng was shocked within. This comprehension of the origin laws, when compared to studying the essence itself, obviously had a different level of difficulty. At my current speed, how long would it take me to study the first form? It's a pity I don't have the floating blood manual. These 108 words were after all just words. The floating blood manual was the true training method left behind by Lien Luo. If he had the manual, Luo Feng was confident that the studying process would definitely be much faster. Just 800 points. Luo Feng gritted his teeth. Luo Feng, just passing the first heavenly bridge, wouldn't that give you 1,000 points? I know. Luo Feng shook his head, however my current self doesn't have enough guarantee to pass the first level. These few days, at least the previous study session of the 9-universe tablet he had almost fully digested. His understanding of the space law was deeper now, and if he unleashed the sky heavenly formation, its power would be much greater. He may win, but he didn't have full confidence. If only I can fully comprehend the first form. 9 golden blades, with this first feeling as the link, can form one complete perfect form. Its power would definitely be absurd. Luo Feng's first study, he finally began to understand what benefits that first form was going to add to him. Luo Feng looked into the distant primal chaos city. After training for so long, my mental state is weary. I'll head outside the city to take a look. Previously, the black-robed receiver said there were 3 treasures. This third treasure had a stone tablet outside explaining. Luo Feng knew himself that at his current state, he couldn't continue studying. Hence he headed directly to the entrance of the city. Just what was this third treasure? The first treasure was the primal universe's obvious revolving origin laws. The second was the 52 primal chaos tablets. The third, just what was it? Primal Chaos City, within an ancient mansion that was extremely huge. Go out. The ape-man waved his hand. Yes, teacher. About 10 undyings below, sector lords, they all bowed respectfully and left the mansion. That Luo Feng actually didn't buy the floating blood manual? True Yen Emperor sat in the chair frowning, simultaneously part of his consciousness communicated with his AI. He's a member of the absolute beginning region, he should have been awarded 10,000 points. What? He used it all right at the beginning? From his AI, he found out that Luo Feng had used all of his 10,000 points. True Yen was speechless. He actually bought an illusionary manual? True Yen Emperor shook his head. His current strength definitely has no need to buy the illusionary manual. He should buy a more basic technique. What's suitable is the most apartment. This little punk actually used all his points straight away. That's really. True Yen Emperor frowned. How troublesome. Lien Luo, that sick genius, back then he still took a few tens of thousands of years to explain the 108 forms. This explanation of the origin law essences, is much harder than simply comprehending, especially since it tests one's intelligence, temperament, and also his level of comprehension. Unless one is an absolute genius, it's hard to study it. From the beginning, one would begin to comprehend the essence of the space origin law, and in the future, his achievements would be high. This point, from the absolute beings within the 1008 universe countries who didn't know. However, even after knowing, this method still wasn't spread wide. Mainly because the requirements on one's temperament, intelligence, space comprehension, these were extremely and absurdly high. One first had to have a high comprehension of space. If one couldn't even feel the space laws, how could he study deeper? As for intelligence and temperament, one had to maintain his state and calmness while studying. The moment one gets fickle and impatient, one would lose a lot of the work he's done. Temperament was very important, just thinking about it one would know. And this level of comprehending the universe space origins, comprehension was even more important. Walking this path, to many strong warriors would only waste away long periods of time. That Lien Luo, number one in the genius battle, also required tens of thousands of years. Someone with lesser talent and intelligence, like Jiang Mo, Ai Chen and Wuka, that level, one would require millions of years. And those other normal geniuses would waste away their entire sector Lord 1000 eras and not succeed. Even though these 30 years in Primal Chaos City are very important to him. However, making him feel some loss, wasting a few years is fine. True Yen Emperor shook his head. Let him remember for the long term. Understand that some valuable items and stuff shouldn't be used completely before understanding their full uses for the future. True Yen Emperor didn't think more about it. Even though he was paying attention to Luo Feng, it was mostly only due to him picking the same path and section. Just hinting him slightly was enough. That all, he wasn't involved enough to help or do anything for him. Luo Feng currently wasn't worth him doing anything. Primal Chaos City, with walls that went on forever. The doors opened and several warriors left or entered. Luo Feng too followed the door and headed out. Where's the stone tablet? Luo Feng stood at the entrance, looking at the continuous walls that extended forever, engulfed in the chaos energy. Suddenly he spotted on the left there was an incredibly huge stone tablet. On it were scribbles of universe language words. At the top wrote the third treasure of Primal Chaos City. Primal Chaos Spirit? Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. The contents of the stone tablet was roughly: Primal Chaos Spirit. When a universe is in its primal state, the primal universe will naturally produce peculiar beings. These beings have peculiar appearances. They are currently called primal chaos beasts. These beasts have different levels of strength. They are all proficient in different origin laws, some more so than others. Killing the primal chaos beasts, their bodies will decay into large amounts of chaos energy and a dark green light will be produced. This dark green light is where their core lies. They don't have souls, only a life light. This light has been named as Primal Chaos Spirit. As long as one absorbs this Primal Chaos Spirit into their bodies, one's soul will naturally absorb it, and with absorption, their soul will slightly change, melding better with the universe space. Luo Feng. A voice caused Luo Feng to turn before he finished reading the entire tablet. The distant savage Rong Jun descended from mid-air, immediately landing on the ground and walking barefooted to Luo Feng, smiling. Haha, I haven't seen you around these past days. Are you getting ready to head out to hunt the primal chaos beasts? However, you have to be careful. Just from hunting these primal chaos beasts, we've already lost a few from our batch.